Max for just win everything for the year. Why not? Talking about all these players, one player that I would like to see him being able to show up here at this stage as well, that maybe he hasn't been able to in the first two matches, and we know he performed really well in that group stage, is none other than Yago for Lost. Lost, we expect them coming in hot with what they were able to do in that group stage, but at the moment, they're just not putting themselves in that kind of position, and going with another Brazilian team, and I think we have to mention him too, Neptune, is MT7. I feel like we need to see some of those pop-up performances that we're seeing out of the other players.
Now that you mentioned the both players right now, so I know it's not news to everyone that Yago as well as MT7 has been rivals for a very long time. There's also a little bit of a replacement happening, and you know how it is in Brazil. They go in for those battles. So I really love to see them face off against each other, but that means that they have to go 1v1.
Well, let's see if maybe we'll end up seeing a 1v1. Match 3 is ready. Who's going to be taking a couple more booyahs, and who's going to reach that threshold for the match point format of 90 points? AJ, take it away for me.
Yeah, boy, thank you very much, Seven. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, my name is AJ. I'm the Mustache down here with the one and only Husky, your OG duo of Free Fire, right back on the desk. And man, are the games hot today. Putting it up on the desk, absolutely freaking hot in game number 1, but game 2, Husky, they fizzled out.
Yeah, they did fizzle out, and it was something that, was in the making for almost more than a year.
Yeah.
This is one of the teams that people want them to fill up that cabinet, the final piece of the puzzle with the EWC trophy. But last year, they didn't even hit the threshold to win EWC in Riyadh. And right now, they are a third of the way there. They are more than 30 points towards the threshold of 90. I think a couple more good rounds to give it 2 or 3. BRU, they are going to be in a prime position to take it all back.
And it looks like we are ready for our game already. At Shrines, do we get a hot drop? Because we know EVOS as well as MIBR Lost usually do drop by here. But thankfully, they will choose the foundation instead. And MIBR Lost will not be disturbed for the time being. But they cannot take that for granted, because a potential rotation from EVOS, as they like sticking towards the outer regions of this map before hopping on towards Refinery. And Refinery, on the other hand, is conquered as usual by the kings of Refinery themselves, RRQ.
My attention is going to be on MT6U that is now brought in by MIBR Law, so General not going to be playing this game. A second thing is also the rotation of BRU. We know that they love to go to command post, and command post is now preoccupied by Lion instead. BRU up against TAG once more.
Will the Indian squad wake up here in game number 3? At Kalahari, usually the Thai teams that have found dominance thus far here at Free Fire and EWC 26 get high down, Wasana down, and it looks like India just needed Mustacho back on the desk as Team Apex Gaming absolutely shut down their plays, leaving one final survivor. Can they hunt down the final one? Moshi, the super sniper of Thailand, scurrying away as quickly as possible. No more on his side, no stealth bites. And Team Apex Gaming just need one more, and they get it. And the 3-time world champs out of Kalahari, all thanks to them.
Yeah, Wasana with his hands on his head, because that was an absolute disaster for BRU. RQ come to life, they find EVOS at Foundation, but EVOS should be out of this. They have 2 more members left. The UAV does ping out Ray. He does have the hook gun in his face, but not much cover to work with, so this should be the 3rd confirmation for the Kings of Kings. But at least, unlike BRU, EVOS, they have a 2nd win in this game.
A little bit of a civil war here between RRQ and EVOS. But the Team Apex Gaming, who were literally at the very bottom of the leaderboard when we started, Can they continue to rise up to the top? They have no idea who they took down. So I don't know if or not it's going to be a huge confidence boost for them. But as long as they can maintain this momentum after winning out that initial gunfight. Loud up against Falcons. On the other hand, Nix with the backstab. And you've got Wakta from the front with a VSK. They got that done absolutely well. And now they're going in for the chase. Karoro's going to be stuck all alone here. Isolated is not going to find the tag on him just yet. But Trap cutting down the distance here. Max 7 in hand. Karoro's about to be popped and he puts him down on the ground. Beautiful play so far from the Brazilian squad.
Now, no way out of that for Karoro. Trap did say during the interview with Caro that they are feeling really good after the first Booyah. And they have been local champions multiple times. And one of the things that is missing is this EWC trophy and the World Series finale. But at least for now, RRQ, also a team that only finishes second. They're definitely looking to break that curse here on Paris stage. A bite around the corner. That's going to be Joker down. RRQ with their 6 point.
Yeah, easy takedown there. Lion left their player all alone outside just for a little bit of a distraction. And this was that replay. A phenomenal performance from Shoto. And he just shut down the hopes of Buriram in the second game after, once again, a fiery start for your 3-time world champions who have never gotten the first spot here at the Esports World Cup. They get taken out of the lobby prematurely. EVOS on the other hand, Lion after Lion, they'll hunt down. We just saw RRQ find one earlier. Either way, Lion's not doing too well. Yakos can see the shots from the back. Man does not have the Morse at this point of time. They're going to be regretting bringing that Skylar in, but it is what it is. S8UL on the other hand, bumping into yet another Brazilian squad out there. Yago, a sliver of health, and nameless AGAL from afar, cutting down the distance, slowly catching up with them. And perhaps this third party can allow S8UL to pull in a couple of revives.
Let's see if Bunny can make that rescue mission happen. MT7 could get pushed right now by Twisted Minds. Bob wants to provide long-range support, but he's getting pinned down as well. Twisted Minds with the pieces in place, getting knocked down from afar. Is Bob delivering on the platter? Twisted Minds stopped in their tracks.
Yeah, you sit on my shoulder, buddy. I'll pick you right up. Diamond brought right back in here by the Bass, and Bob's caught out. Diamond, beautiful play off the top of the 10. M24 in hand, but Exposy looking for the vending machine. And Butch is in, will be able to take him away. The guard of the vending machine failed on his mission, and Twisted Minds don't get to take the squad out of the equation just yet.
A big clutch there from Butcherson. But earlier on, when we saw BRU get wiped out, it freed up command post, so Team Apex Gaming now have full control of the southern side of the map. Lion not in a good spot as EVOS catches up to RRQ again. The rematch. The young gun of RRQ is the one that gets the drop, but EVOS prevails. And they lock in their 5th point. Now around the corner is going to be a troll that is isolated. Ray finds that finisher.
Yeah, you can't roll the one and only EVOS. 6 eliminations in hand already. Unfortunate for S8UL. They were all spread out on the battlefield. MIBR lots on the other hand, bumping into Falcons yet again. This one just does not end. Empty sexy down on the ground. Round A7 on a high ground here, has got the Winchester in hand. Pina in shooting distance in the crosshairs of Raone, but he does not get the job done. He has to be pushed off here. As on fire catches up with him, and from up top, the SVD straight to the head. Raone was looking for the vending machine, but prevented. And Yago's going to turn kills here, trying to get out of there as quickly as possible. But the hit list has been bought. And MIBR with their final player, although they have the stealth bites, they're not going to be able to get away from this. Falcons, they know exactly where he is. And this is going to be the end for MIBR here in this lobby.
Yeah, the Red Tide Rhythm, just to confirm the elimination, Yago can hide all he wants, but there's no escaping the talents of the Falcons. MIBR lost, removed in 9th place. And that puts Loud and Twisted Minds in a comfortable spot. Both teams who have had a Booyah so far now leading the pack just because BRU is not in it.
On the next update, we're going to see Morris' capability of even avoiding the hit list. That was unfortunate, man. We tried to stay hidden, but got exposed in a totally different way. Brilliant play, brilliant strategy out of Falcons. And now, Twisted Minds versus Fluxo. Bob's MT7 as the rest of Twisted Minds use the zip line to cross the battlefield. Diamond has got MT7 in his crosshairs. MT7 on the other hand, focusing on the airdrop. They want to make sure they've got the weapons of choice to take on Twisted Minds as well as the utilities, but the Bass with the advantage. M590, oh, needs another one. Almost messed that up. But MT7, the sniper, just could not take a decent CQC.
Yep, Twisted Minds with the daylight robbery and an extra point under their pocket. Fluxo forced to run away. Pot shots headed towards Boss. Butcherson needs to hold the forest to find an isolated Joker. But they need to secure some space at the sub for MT7 to come back into the lobby. Fluxo surprisingly very, very spread out as a team on the southern side of the map.
If you look at this map, usually we've seen dominance out of the Thai squad so far. Falcons put it up AGAL. All of them have one booyah each on this Kalahari map. With Buriram out of the equation already, perhaps Falcons and AGAL will be the biggest threats later. Fluxo, on the other hand, they've got a booyah for themselves on this Kalahari map as well in their run here at EWC 26. But as far as those points are concerned, they didn't really rake in a lot of eliminations. In fact, Fluxo hasn't really looked very strong on the battlefield so far as the eliminations.
Yeah, not at all. I definitely expected a bit more, but I'm looking for them to ramp up maybe game 3 and 4 onwards, right? This is the team that needs some time to warm up their engines. But one of the theme of this game is the fact that two of the biggest strongholds are Refinery and Command Post because of RRQ and BRU. Both of them are not in the lobby, which means that there's a lot of real estate freed up for everyone else. The game should slow down temporarily until maybe the 11th minute mark. And until then, we're going to see stragglers being picked up left and right and then brought back by the vending machine. And that means it's going to be some free points for the teams who managed to find these eliminations.
But he tried his best there to get to the vending machine, but unfortunately the Valiant Dash used against him, not really to disable any of his defenses, but just to cut the distance down. And Esports, he's finding Jack as well. And now S8UL left with one final survivor. Can India find a way to get back into this matchup through this squad? And Team Apex Gaming, on the other hand, started off really hot up against Buriram, but they've been silent so far. AGAL finding the Brazilians. Loud, and the grenade M79 up into the top floor. Trap will be pushed down by the M590, and that starts off a big one, and that's a massive advantage because that's the player that had the M79 on the side of the Brazilian squad. Cypher traded out, deal with the shot from afar with the M82B, and they dismantle Loud with that play.
Perfect execution from AGAL. I think there was a bit of a miscom there from Loud, who tried to run down the stairs and Trap absolutely caught out. Not really sure what the plan was, but Cypher with the great execution on the Valiant Dash sealed the deal there.
I think the play there was supposed to be the M79 to be sent down to that lower ground, and then of course those grenades to take out the players from the front lines. But unfortunately, before he could get into position, he just got shot out of the spot with the M590. Beautiful play out of Cypher there in that moment. But now Twisted Minds up against EVOS. Both these teams know each other very well from the Southeast Asian region. And it is EVOS right now leading with the eliminations as well as the utilities. Twisted Minds not too far behind them. But you look at the long reposition, that's probably, I think, Exposi trying to get into spot to see if he can flank around. AGAL watching this battle from afar as well. If Dew finds Aim God, this is going to be deadly.
Yeah, we can say the same for if Russia gets a clear shot. Diamond's already tagged out. We have Fluxo on the high ground too. So Twisted Minds not really comfortable staying out in the open at Foundation. They need to find some cover here. But with EVOS pushing in, they got to pick poison.
Yeah, you got to pick a poison, man, either way. I think there's a fair chance you do not find the antidote for either one of them. More stealth fights used by Russia. He gets a easy flank around the left-hand side to find the circle first before the rest of his brothers. And the rest of the frontliners on the side of EVOS will be holding Twisted Minds back. And Russia, right after he gets into spot, he gets shot in the back by the player from the side of Fluxo, most probably MT7. EVOS calls for the Bolt Maker. Lightning zone now. Twisted Minds cannot step out into the open. Aim God with one misplay that does not manage to get the first knockdown in the Valiant Dash. Almost saving him, but it was that A124 thriller battle that gave them the bravery to step into the battle. But Twisted Minds turning the situation around for themselves.
Yeah, and Russia needs to build a team out right now.
What a
nade and a snipe. Russia going above and beyond and putting EVOS on his back.
One more.
Exposi and the Bars, remainers of Twisted Minds.
One more.
Russia again, the Wonder Kid with the delivery system. Can he complete the cycle here as the Bas desperately bringing his teammates back with the revive? But Rush has done more than enough. It's his turn to maybe get his teammates back into the game. The Bas over the glue wall. The Bas comes out on top.
The Bas, beautiful. Gets the insurance policy first on that revive, bringing Diamond back into play, and then going for the shutdown. But their chances of surviving this lobby and getting a booyah is absolutely slim. The Bas is going to probably get taken out of the equation here outside the circle, tanking a lot of damage. Apex, on the other hand, right beside S8UL, who have had a full squad recovery, looking for the next zone. Can he stay a ninja? Nah, they've spotted him already, and Apex is going to get tagged up. Probably this is the end for EVOS here.
Yeah, it's either them or it's either S8UL, AJL that takes that away. Just a free point sitting out in the open. If you are the Indian team, you definitely would want that point as you are sitting at the bottom. As we lose Twisted Minds off screen too, Apex is just trying to... I mean, he did gain an extra placement point for himself before Duel finally collects that. So we are going to go down to just 6 more teams.
AGAL as well as Fluxo, the only 2 other teams that have managed to secure a booyah on Kalahari from this EWC stage. Can they take it all the way? Lion has been fairly quiet after a few mishaps at the very start. Haven't secured a single elimination for themselves. Fluxo, on the other hand, tanking a lot of damage outside the circle. Spots out S8UL on that rotation. Jack's getting tagged up by Barros. AGAL like shooting fish in a barrel. And Fluxo wants to steal that away. MT7 knocks down Troll. He makes sure he gets the confirmation as well. AGAL getting those shots in, making sure they scare the players on the side of Fluxo back. And they're trying to keep Buddy Pinson in.
Yeah, this is a good game for Fluxo and AJL to pull ahead of the curve because some of the Apex players are already out.
One more.
Cypher, can he get the snipe in? It's Dew again, of course. Never doubt this guy. Bunny is also pinned down behind that glue wall, and it's only a matter of time before AJL finds him. Lion now will join that fight, and maybe that's the distraction that will bail Fluxo out of the situation as they fight against TAG.
Yeah, brilliant recovery by Fluxo here, instantly jumping out of that monster truck, getting the pickup with the glue walls, and they take Bunny out of the equation as well. Unfortunately, the circle actually claimed that point off of them. As S8UL Esports makes the exit from the lobby, we now have the top 3. And 2 out of the 3 teams are definitely geared up for the booyah here. Falcons, just the one team that strayed on in. Can they make it out of here? I totally forgot that they were still alive and kicking. All 3 of these teams have already performed at Kalahari, and they're looking to pull off their second booyah. Which one will be able to secure that for themselves? Cypher bringing the whole squad of AGL together with him, backing him up as he cuts the distance down between their squad as well as Fluxo, but they realize right under the bridge, Fluxo will be dangerous. And they take a quick U-turn, but they'll have to deal with Falcons here. And they're going to hope and pray that it is Fluxo that finds Falcons first. Jump pad getting them in, but that's a bad move. First one gets snuffed out of the air. Peanut with a double. On fire finds Nameless. And AGAL losing 2 too early.
This is good for Fluxo. Carrero made his rotation too late and went down to the blue. Peanut did take down Dew, but now Fluxo completely freed out and might get an advantageous fight against Falcons. Peanut needs some help, but the blue zone is pushing them straight into the heat of Fluxo, who are coming at them with full force. Dew exposed and Limit with the first one to even the odds out. Fluxo forward, pushes in with the dash in. Peanut covering himself and pushes in. Now needs assistance. Gets knocked down. Finds the trade again. It's Limit trying to hold Falcons together, but he falls in the hands of MC7. Peanut brought back up. Pops in front of him, on fire, providing help. Falcons side by side. As Fluxo looks to the corner, the pre-fire comes through. Peanut rushes in. MC7 holds his own. MC7 delivers on fire with the trade. Can Bob steal it? The captain of Fluxo can do it. On fire. It's on fire. And Falcons get their booyah.
Get second booyah at Kalahari. The 5th time they make their run here on this map, and they're truly dominant. But a well-played game for all 3 teams that squeeze themselves towards that final circle. A brilliant play by Falcons. They got locked down by the thrill of battle off of that A124 initially, but it was Pina and his M590 perfection. Well-timed blue wall, circled around it. Could not use his active skill, but it didn't matter. He went in for the pop, an instant pickup to maintain the numbers advantage, and the distraction with the extra player on the side of Falcons more than enough to allow On Fire to pop off towards the very end. A brilliantly executed final circle for Falcons.
This is something that Falcons is very good at. You put them at a disadvantage, they will somehow even the odds out and then tip the scales in their favor.
เร็วก่อนคุณกลางเร็วว้าว
And you see the prioritization of the Tiva there as well. And that's exactly what got them that instant pickup in such a dire situation. Without the focus on Tiva, I think they would have been wiped out already. And that's exactly what makes these passive skills so important at a level like the Sasuke.
Absolutely, and because of that, Falcons get themselves 28 points from Kalahari. But Fluxo and AJL, they're not too far behind, right? 21 for Fluxo, 19 for AJL. These are the teams that actually needed these points the most, with BRU and Loud sneaked us out of the equation early on. And now we should start seeing a bit of a separation from the top 6 and the bottom 6, because it's starting to look like it's a top-heavy game.
A great recovery for Team Apex Gaming as well. India had a phenomenal run yesterday. First 2 matches, not really on their side. This is the game they wake up on, but S8UL still lagging behind a tad bit, but at the very least, not at the very bottom of this leaderboard for Kalahari. But on the overall leaderboard, I'm fairly sure they're still at the bottom. They need to do a lot, and they have to hope and pray that this day does not end quick, because you very well know that it could just happen. Now, Team Falcons, after that game, I'm very sure they're somewhere around the 50-point region. And if they give us exactly what they gave at the grand finals, the very first match was a 40-point bomber, they might just activate the champion rush condition or the match point in this very next game.
You're right, AJ. I mean, they still hold the world record for most points in a single game. If they deliver that, it is going to be, another one of those examples where Falcons prove that they are the superior team. And can you imagine them being a 2-time champion at EWC? They already have the 2 stars as the club champion, so why not make that run it back?
Yeah, absolutely, man. 2 teams out here on that stage capable of becoming the 2-time world champions for Free Fire at the Esports World Cup. You've got EVOS, you've got Falcons, but are they going to be upset by the squads out there today? Because if you look at the overall leaderboard, based on the performance that we saw off of Kalahari earlier, it's currently going to be stacked with the Thai teams at the top.
Absolutely. And the one thing that I was worried about coming into this grand finals, even after yesterday, was if these Thai teams are going to go aggressive, and so far they have been. So let's see if they can keep that Thai freight train going. We'll be right back with more action.
The human body was built to move, not trapped at a desk in one singular posture for 12 hours a day. It's time your chair evolved. This is Secret Lab Titan Evo. Ergonomically engineered for you, gamers, hybrid workers, artists, backing your every move.
What a game, and welcome back to our stage here. I'm Yoso, and right next to me is Lucifer. Wow, okay, so before we start everything, I must talk about India teams. All right, so I think that stepping into the finals, they are a little bit struggling, but look at TAG at the first beginning of the game 3. Clear all Would have United Esports. What are you going to say about that, Lucifer?
They needed that initial start to get an idea about the stage itself, because grand finals, come on, it's not that easy. But they have done it. They took down Buriram and almost fully taking down EVOS as well. So brilliant stuff coming in from their end, but also have to add on to Loud's consistency coming through. This time AJL might have troubled them, but you can see Loud for Brazil, they're also moving in the direction. And I really like how these teams, on one end India, on the other end Brazil, everybody's trying to take this trophy away from Southeast Asia.
Exactly. Okay, so we have Brazil teams here, Loud and Fluxo. They are doing pretty great, right? But what is wrong with Lost? I just keep questioning myself during the 3 games past. Like, what is really wrong with them? Like, I don't really know what is happening to Lost. Like, have you got any idea?
I think right as now it's Loud as well as Fluxo. They're the ones who are picking up, and it might be a loss. Unfortunate, they're coming in the mix of that battle and they're unable to pull it off. Hopefully they do something different that works in their favor, but one team that did in their favor to get back what they did in EWC 24 is Falcons, that they want to be a two-time EWC champion.
Great, but what about EVOS? Because they are getting a little slower than during the 3 games away. But I'm really impressed with the final play. We have our last circle, AJAL, Fluxo, and also Team Falcons. And Falcon Pina is definitely on fire. He's played really nice, even in the last circle. Control the games really nice. We cannot talk about on fire, but he's getting fire his back, and I'm really proud of my little boy here.
Falcons indeed are getting their fire back in because they know that they need this trophy once again. They need to become the two-time. It's not seen yet here. And if they do it at Esports World Cup 2026 Paris, they will be elated. They will have their key right here. That's the reason we're standing right next to the game trophy along with 3 keys that they could maybe crush and take it home. But again, the reason I say maybe is this is Falcons getting their very first booyah, the second in the overall tournament. So there's a lot that they have to do yet.
Yes, and I'm looking forward more to see our teams because this is unlimited games, right? Reach more to 90 points. Okay, so let's back to our studio, shall we?
Thank you very much, Lucifer and Yun So. We are about to hop into game number 4, and it is Bermuda time, back to the origins of Free Fire. And you're right, so far some of these front runners from Thailand and Brazil have been hitting it hard. MIBR lost, nowhere to be found, but hopefully they are going to start showing up because we don't want to end by game 5 or 6, AJ. We want to double that. We want to go game 12 to make use of the unlimited games available in this grand finals. So let's see if some of the bottom dwellers can deliver us a surprise on Bermuda.
I've got my eyes on 2 teams, Loud from Brazil and Team Apex Gaming from India. Like I said, man, they needed the big mustache on the desk so that India can get a little bit more excited. Let's see if or not they take this one all the way. They haven't had a booyah on Bermuda just yet, but I'm hoping this is the first one for TAG Fluxo. In a little bit of a danger zone here. I'm talking about TAG. And they're making me a tad bit nervous. Do you drop headphones in on? It might just happen. TAG, you better win this one out.
This is quite the shift because usually Fluxo prefers to go straight for Mars Electric.
I know, right?
So this either intentional by Fluxo or TAG have something that we don't know. Thankfully, they're not directly on top of each other, so there's some real estate they can both share in the vicinity. But TAG, they've already lost Woven, Shoto and S8UL just not really looking too healthy. Shoto in the front, but MT7 coming out on top. And Fluxo again off to a good start.
A very callous push there in that situation. Shoto's down, Butch is in as well as Jiu. Shot from afar. Didn't really get to see exactly who was that taking the shots up against them, but it doesn't matter. Katie God's on the way out of this sticky situation. And like a cowboy, he's riding away. No sunset, so I guess it doesn't matter.
In this context, luckily there's no sunset.
Nuh-uh.
There will be an early exit for TAG.
Hey, don't say that. I was waiting for them to come back.
Same, man. I was hoping the same as well, right? And again, that's the concern that I did brought up because I was expecting that, you know, the Thai teams, the experienced one, especially those that qualified directly into the grand finals and didn't have to play yesterday, they're going to come in hot, looking for eliminations to get that big lead. And that's exactly what happened in game 1. You know, BRU did that. Twisted Minds did it in game 2. Loud got a booyah. So for the teams from India, this is probably the biggest pressure that they've ever faced. And under all these aggressions from the teams and how fast the lobby has been going, it is going to take a while for them to get used to it. And it better come fast.
Yeah, looking at what Fluxo did here, they're definitely going in for the hunt onto Team Apex Gaming. They managed to take down Katie God, but that's not going to give them an extra advantage because the revival was already completed. The squad is on the way back in. So very intentional play, executed to perfection there by the Brazilian Giants. Fluxo getting 4 points off of TAG at the very get-go. Buriram, on the other hand, just 1 point claim so far. They sent the UAV out. Can they find more?
Well, TAG got lucky for just a little bit because they actually went to peak, and that's where Buriram usually spends a bit more time hanging around. So because Buriram moved to Bimasakti Strip, TAG actually gets a second chance in this lobby.
Oh yeah.
Not so lucky, not so sure about Los though, because they're about to run into BRU. Lion beelining towards where the boss is, and there could be some info the Twisted Minds can use, but I don't think they want to fight right now. They want to get those revives.
Lion versus one player from the side of Twisted Minds. Bass is going to get caught in a tight little spot here. Joker with the M24, flanking around the right-hand side. Della pushing on forth. Spots out Bass. Joker gets the first shot in. Bass pulls up a good blue wall. He's going to be able to block the shots from Della. Grenade's not going to find him just yet. Bass has got the Drogon in hand. But Joker will RGS him out of the equation. And Troll from up top. S8UL trying to interfere in the situation, but the time turner is going to allow the Lions to pick their buddy up and find that recovery as well. An extra glue wall inside the time turner just in case they break it down. But just no aggression from the side of S8UL just yet with those shots. Limit is going to get tagged up here as well. And it is a battle that I did not expect to see the Thai Giants join. And this is now turning into a three-way fight. And S8UL might be able to get away as Lions now start shooting down the Falcons.
Yeah, S8UL is the team that has info on both Falcon and Lion, and that's why they instantly backed off and leave Lion to be the Falcon problem instead of themselves. Limit just got picked back up, so Falcon didn't really have much time to pick themselves into shape. But there's still a trade between Lion and Falcons. Garoro finding Game King. That is the back broken on the Lion side. They no longer have the anchor, and Lion will be forced to split up.
Brilliant play, brilliant counter by Falcons. Although they were in a tight little spot there, using the jump pad to see if they can pull away some numbers from that equation, intentionally or unintentionally help the Indian squad of S8UL survive. And the Lions didn't go in for the pressure since Falcons got a couple of numbers off of them as well. Now the Bears still under pressure. This time it's EVOS that finds him. And that's about it. What a turnaround. M1917 gets the knock. Can he get the confirmation? No, he gets the double! Can he get a triple? Locked down by the thrill of battle. The flank comes through from the back. Good glue wall. And he gets the elimination. The best, you monster.
Absolutely insane play there. Hunted down by the entirety of EVOS and comes out with a 2-0 head-to-head so far. And the entire game,
one more?
He has been alone. He has been isolated. And finally, Ray takes him out. But it did come at a cost for EVOS. They are forced to soft reset.
Good anticipation for Ray there off of the BSK. Silejet in the vehicle. A disadvantage up against Strap, who has the Woodpecker. Katie got, and now they're all spread out on the battlefield. Twisted Minds right above on the revive. Don't tell me he's going to drop right in here. That might be the distraction that Team Apex Gaming is going to need. S8UL, on the other hand, up against Falcons. In this compound, Falcons have got the high ground advantage. Limit, Riptide Rhythm sent out already, so he's on cooldown for the active skills. Jack's going to be spotted out from afar. Pina quickly repositions towards the lower ground. They pulled out the Painted Refuge off of that Steppy earlier on, but no nades were sent from the side of Falcons. That could be the active wasted. It's a 2v2. Time Turner used a little prematurely.
Nice.
Pina gets caught out though. That's a big play, and Buddy with the Drogon goes in for the doozy. And the follow-up will put Falcons out of the equation. S8UL Esports still alive.
Perfect stuff from Tro with the Car 98 and the cluster to set it up as well, completely scattering the front line of Falcons right into the crosshair of Tro. And TAG on the other hand, you wanted the Indian team to step up, AJ. I think they are granting your wish as they were chasing down isolated members as well. And this could put them in a good spot and give them more games in this finals. With Falcons removed, now it is Twisted Minds and Fuxo's chance to get ahead.
Bharat Mata Ki Jai. That's the way, baby. But of course, it's not enough. They're still towards the bottom of the leaderboard. If they can climb up consistently, maybe get into the final circle, they stand a good chance. Man, the Bears is just having an unlucky run here in this Bermuda lobby. Tagged up again. Can he pull off a superstar play? This time it's Katie God with the M1917. The double revolvers up against the Bass, who does have the SMG in hand. The Bison, deadly. Katie God needs a sharp shot here. The Bass quickly finding the recovery off of the Superman and the backup from afar. Unfortunate. Exposi brought right back in here. Twisted Minds continuously on the revives now. Shoto needs to turn tails and get the heck out of there, because you've got two players on the side of Twisted Minds with a high ground advantage, and Diamond has the BSK. That's it. He tries to get away. Diamond, are you going to miss all of those shots? Shoto,
one more.
Some luck is keeping him alive, but finally taken down. Took too long for Diamond, but finally sorted that out.
longer than they needed. Exposing, he is running all the way from peak to join his teammates. Vovin is still up, but this vending machine is so far away. And Mill, I think that's where he's heading. We saw that Dinoculus being used earlier on, but it also could be from AJL to make sure that there's no team coming in from the eastern side.
Yeah.
S8UL have been duking it off with BRU for quite some time. Let's see if Bunny can come out on top. The blue wall all go down at the same time. Is Bunny against the captain and Jonah Besson.
Man, I mean, Jonah's a monster always, but in that situation, he was definitely outnumbered. The rest of the players from the side of Buriram is having the crosshairs on him from afar. Moshi spotting out Jack as well, but Jack, with the Valiant Dash, will be able to put a little bit of a distance between himself as well as the super sniper of Buriram. But the rest of the S8UL players are not out of the woods just yet. Spotted out by Buriram, Jonah, as well as Get High XL out in the open. Troll has got the Car 98 and the BSK.
Oh no.
The quick scopes will get him absolutely nothing. Perfect defense off of Buriram. On the opposite end, we've got Loud bumping into EVOS.
And he doesn't see Jonah with a stealth
Lion?
so it could be dangerous. EVOS here. Is it another three-way fight? If it is,
Could even be a four-way Husky.
RRQ joins it. You call it.
There you go.
With the snipe onto BZP. Avex is going to try and capitalize on this, but he's going to be pinned down in this warehouse as well. If Lion pushes this, it is going to be bad news for EVOS.
Yeah, good recovery for Loud here. Just quickly going on to the drone, making sure RRQ does not get those easy shots. And assisted by EVOS from down the bottom as well, who lay out all of those glue wall melters. They call out the painted refuge from Steffi, protecting them from any nades that will be tossed up onto the roof. So that's a brilliant defense here by Loud. That ice grenade's not going to do anything to them. Dragon Freeze will not scratch them at all. But the painted refuge used up already. They all get tagged up by the Moko. EVOS knows exactly where they are, all thanks to the lightning zone as well. And Loud has got nowhere to go.
They're actually trapped on this roof. But the good news is that it is right in the center of the circle, so they still have some time to plan their escape route if needed, or at least just hold here and wait for the other teams to take themselves out.
One more.
Avex under pressure, trap, clear vision of him. BRU crippled, unfortunately, as they actually lost the fight against S8UL off screen. So Moshi will have to backtrack from where he came from.
The two Indian teams are still alive, so I'm a happy man. Buriram on the other hand, rough round here. Moshi. Could just see the end here, Nameless. I don't know if he knows.
Cypher should check this.
Flanking around, Cypher
Get him.
spots him. Moshi is not going to survive this one. Buriram taken out. Their banner burned out of the skies. Fantastic start. Just no great follow-up from your three-time world champs.
0 placement points again, AJ. Another early exit. Twisted Mind challenging TAG and Exposi. I mean, so far the pass has been hot and he's continued to be hot. Rushes into the field. They lose 2, but same as TAG, can Woven pull this back. They've already lost their star Shoto. So it all comes down to Woven and Sahujat to make some magic happen. They're trying to go into the other side of the building, of the window. Woven needs some distance to be convenient with his teammates.
Oh man, the guy had no glue walls. He almost got shot in the back. But thanks to his lucky stars, I'm very sure they're aligned for the team perfectly right now.
Looks so.
But luck is about to run out for TAG. They do not have the resources needed to survive this final circle, and they don't have the number of players on their side as well. Will luck be on their side? A Riptide Rhythm from another squad, giving the opener here. S8UL losing lives one after the other as well on the opposite end. And the four-way fight still has Loud alive and kicking up on top.
They are holding on so well. So much medkits and glue wall to work with. They've weathered the storm for now. So RQ is going to be their next problem, but at least they have the warehouse to drop into if needed.
Wow.
Fluxstone did bail TAG out from the jaws of Twisted Minds for a while, but now TAG will have to somehow get out of this with minimal resource.
S8UL, although they survived long enough into the 12th-minute mark, placement points-wise, they don't really get anything much off of this lobby at all. Team Apex Gaming with 2 final survivors, a double caught on their side. Twisted Minds hopping on in. And they find a quick recovery before perhaps taking the fight up against Team Apex Gaming. They just need to knock on that door slightly and they'll be able to get 2 free points, unless, of course, Wolvin and Sile Judge show us some miracle, because they have no glue walls to play around with. They'll just have to take a straightforward gunfight.
Yeah, Lion just wiped out 3 out of the 4 Fluxo members too, as they were going on the cross. The high ground advantage was too good for Lion to pass out, and now Tahijas can get absolutely ran through by the pass. They should spell the end of
Oh,
TAG
Woven!
out into the blue. Woven actually finds that revive for the KD God to extend their lifeline. And he's on the MT7. Woven though loses the fight, but MT7 did eventually perish to the blue.
Yeah, Woven did manage to collect that elimination off of him. Brilliant play, but of course, Team Apex Gaming, that's going to be their consolation prize. They survived definitely much longer, but elimination points-wise, that's exactly where we see the big improvement coming through from the squad. But they need way more than that to climb a leaderboard in a massive lobby like this. Not their fault at all. On the survival stage, you didn't have these big boys. You didn't have these monsters prowling around. It's a tough lobby to say the least. Lions now rotating away from Twisted Minds. Flukso versus RRQ, the big fight. Dude still alive and kicking, but lost. Doing a number on them, spotting out Rams. Circling around the glue wall, won't get clapped by the thrill of battle, and the A124 does RRQ in. The sniper of RRQ can't do much in this situation, tries to run away, prevented by Rigby. Easy points for MIBR, and that's the 4 that they pick up in this lobby.
Good stuff. MIBR needed an intervention. They needed a way back into this finals, and I think they found that opening. Now it's about converting that into more. Lau still holding on strong. The next circle. Let's see if it decides whether Lau gets to stay. Nope, out into the open we go. AJL, their primary position to vulture all of these points from the far. And if AJL gets this booyah, they are going to be so close to 90 points.
How long has Loud stayed on this roof? They have played their defense perfectly. Nobody has been able to punish them. Nobody has been able to kick them off. Now the blue zone will finally do the job, removing the Brazilian squad off of that roof. But the question is, how will they make their move in towards the next circle? Now, Lightning Zone has been called out. It is not AGAL's bold maker, potentially from MIBR, as they are looking to make their way a long journey towards the next zone. Blue wall melters laid out here by AGAL. General's going to be in a lot of trouble, but the shots, the cover from Yago allows him to make the quick rotation round, and MIBR still safe.
The only way to really make this competitive is for Lost to get that booyah somehow. Allow wiping out Twisted Minds members. BZP hanging on by a thread. Now top back up. That's the quad and the 5th for BZP. Next comes in. Lion shows up and Della leads the charge. Games King also winning out his one against Guaksha. Lion not to be denied.
Yeah, Lion steps on in right after that double nade from the side of Twisted Minds. Beautiful play. And of course, it is Lions that get the biggest slice of this pie through those points. Diamond still clapped by the thrill of battle. He can't use his active skills just yet. Goes in for the Superman right outside the zone, tanking a lot of damage. Traps down on the ground. BZP needs to go in here for the pickup, and Gabeskin can't find the final player. Diamond going in for the shutdown.
Oh my goodness.
A sliver of health left here for BZP. And Diamond gets the final player, and it is an all-out Thailand final circle that's clapped by AJL for the booyah.
And they have now officially hit that critical mass. They are so close to 90 points. This booyah, I believe, paired with 11 eliminations, puts them one good game away from the 90-point threshold. How sweet would that be? They came up a Global Finals Clash Squad victory, but it was something that people brushed aside because it's not Battle Royale, it's not the Holy Grail. But now the Holy Grail right in front of them is just one step away.
Before this match, they were 33 points away. I wonder if or not they've managed to pull off a phenomenal run. I mean, if you look at it from the grand scheme of things, these 3 Thai squads, Team Falcons, Twisted Minds, AGAL, they didn't really go all out in the first game like what Buriram did. But right after that, you see the consistency of these boys. And Falcons and Twisted Minds already with their booyah earlier, and AGAL just picking one up for themselves as well. So if you look at it from the grand scheme of things, Southeast Asia doing phenomenally well out there.
This has to feel like deja vu for BRU. This was exactly what happened back in Riyadh in 2025. Get a hot start on Bermuda in game 1, and then absolute silence. And it has happened 2 rounds in a row. You gotta feel what the players are thinking. I think Wasana is starting to feel the stress as well. Hands on his head in game 3 and really just slumping back on the chair after game 4 ended. But there's one team that deserves Twisted Minds. They missed out last year. jump was with poor memory. They didn't even make they didn't even make 80 points. They finished last in Riyadh. He joined Twisted Minds, and now they are here, and they're ever so close.
Absolutely. But are they close enough to the consistency of AGAL? They have been dominating Clash Squad, and they have also been ripping away massive points in whichever Battle Royale lobby they hop on into. Any tournament that they've visited so far, they've definitely found the top 3 for themselves, and now they're looking to become the champions here for Free Fire at the Esports World Cup 2026 Paris. And they're not too far away from doing exactly that. 90 points, that's our match point target. And right now they may just be, like you said, 1 game away.
Yeah, 1 game away from 90. And if everything goes according to plan for AGAL, Game 6 is where they lift that trophy. It would be a fast finals. I mean, not that we've not seen it. We saw it back in spring when Team Secret walked away with 4 consecutive booyahs, but AGAL has such a good run so far. But again, we did highlight Twisted Minds earlier on, and now we have them on stage. Let's see what they have to say.
Welcome back to the main stage. My name is Barney Banks, and I've got Exposy here from Twisted Minds, playing absolutely out of their skin at this point. Exposy, I want to just quickly ask you, if we look back to groups, you guys would play relatively slowly and you would gain momentum throughout the day, and then obviously you'd end on a high, obviously winning your group. However, today you've come out really aggressive. Was that always the plan?
ก็คำถามแรกนะฮะถ้าเกิดมองย้อนไปตอนกรุ๊ปสเตจเนี่ยฮะตอนนั้นเราเล่นกันแบบว่าค่อยๆไปเรื่อยๆแบบว่าไต่ขึ้นไปเรื่อยๆแบบเงียบๆจนสุดท้ายแล้วเนี่ยเราจบที่1ของกรุ๊ปสเตจเลยนะฮะแต่ว่าพอมารอบแกรนด์ไฟนอลเนี่ยฮะพวกเราฟอร์มของพวกเราออกไปทางร้อนแรงแล้วก็แอคทีฟค่อนข้างมากเลยเป็นยังไงบ้างครับตอนนี้
ดีครับทีมได้ปั่นจักรยานไปหอยก็เลยเล่นดีครับ
Yeah, actually like the reason behind like our aggressive style is like because we got a chance to like ride a bicycle to the Eiffel Tower, so we have a lot of energy to play today.
Because you rode a bicycle to the Eiffel Tower. That's pretty cool. Let's talk about the current situation that you're in right now on the leaderboard, okay? You're from one of the strongest regions coming into this, alongside the likes of Falcons, AGAL, yourselves as well, and of course, BRU United Esports. How does it feel right now to be sitting, towards the top of the leaderboard, almost leading the charge?
ก็ถ้าเกิดมองไปที่ลีดเดอร์บอร์ดตอนนี้นะครับเทียบกับสกอร์ของทีมที่มาจากรีเจียนเรานะครับไม่ว่าจะเป็นว่าฟอลคอนนะครับบุรีรัมย์หรือไม่ก็ทีมอื่นทวิสเต็ดมายหรือว่าอื่นๆก็ตามนะฮะคะแนนของเราตอนนี้เนี่ยค่อนข้างโดดออกไปทีเดียวแล้วก็ตอนค่อนข้างสูงแล้วก็เกือบถึง90แล้วนะฮะรู้สึกไงบ้างครับ
ก็รู้สึกดีแล้วครับทีมเล่นดีก็ฝากคนไทยเชียร์เยอะนะครับ
Yeah, I'm very happy and very satisfied for the result of our performance, and hopefully like all the Thai fans and everyone around the world keep supporting them to the end.
Well, finally, before I let you go, I just want to ask you what it would mean to you and your teammates and of course your community watching to lift this incredible trophy that you see before you.
คำถามสุดท้ายนะฮะก็รู้สึกไงบ้างฮะแล้วก็คิดว่าแฟนๆจะรู้สึกไงบ้างในนาทีที่เราได้ยกถ้วยรางวัลนี้ขึ้นมาครับ
ดีใจครับซ้อมมาเหนื่อยก็ถ้าทำได้ก็ดีครับ
Yeah, very happy because we're going so hard for this year, like we're giving everything we got, and hopefully we can finally lift the trophy.
Okay, well, yeah, it shows. You guys are trying extremely hard. It shows. Congratulations on where you're on the leaderboard. If you guys lift that trophy, I'll ride a bicycle with you guys to the Eiffel Tower. And so with that being said, we're going to head back over to the studio before we come back with some more Free Fire action, baby.
We book Esports World Cup.
everybody. We are hanging out in the festival zone, and if you don't know what this is, we're going to walk you through it a little bit because you definitely want to check this out while you're hanging out at EWC 2026. This is going to be right next to the Free Fire station. You can see there's got some people playing in here already. There's the option for basketball or football, soccer if you're American, and you can come in here, play this all day, breaks between the games. It's the perfect thing to do to kind of switch things up as you're hanging out here. But there's also a ton of games that you can participate in. I don't know if you've been by the Free Fire stage lately, but the fans from Brazil for these teams are insane. We're talking musical instruments, drums, cheers, matching outfits, flags. Sometimes gotta take a little break. So make sure you come and check out the festival area to do exactly that. Another very helpful thing to check out while you're here at EWC 2026 is, of course, the venue map. Now, might sound a little bit simple, but I'm going to walk you through why this is going to be so helpful. This is how you're going to be able to navigate the entire location, and you'll be able to keep track of how everything is going. It's going to be one of your best resources here at EWC 2026, so make sure you check it out. This is one of the games that you can play here at EWC 2026. This is your opportunity to potentially win some EWC 26 merch or even tickets to one of the events. All you have to do is come on over, take a spin on the wheel, and if you hit the right number, you could be going home with some pretty cool prizes. Now, of course, we also have our super fan area. Now, this is going to be where you want to go if you are looking for those up close and personal interactions with some of your favorite players. You have to come here. You can get some photos of your favorite players. You can get them to autograph some of your EWC 26 merch. Are you having a good time here so far?
Yeah, really nice. And I'm so excited to be here. We are supporting Lion and Gandai.
Seeing glitter spin will remind you what's going on right now with that leaderboard from last time that you saw us. That leaderboard has been spinning because at one point it was Buriram. That's not the case anymore. This is starting to look like 2025 Buriram.
2025 indeed. They came out of the gates running last year, and it looks like, they were going to be the leaders of the pack, but unfortunately something happened to them and they ended up in 9th place. And we're kind of seeing the same happen today. So is it a little bit of a jinx or a turn of events? Who knows? But look, obviously we talk about these teams and everybody's sort of wanting that prize, wanting that, and they definitely have what it takes to get back up to the top of the leaderboard. But right now we're just having deja vu.
Yeah, I do agree. I mean, it's real difficult right now because they're the ones let out of the Thailand teams who's grabbing those booyahs. Like 3 out of 4 that is in grand finals right now is already taking that big B, and BRU United is not getting it. But they did have a massive game number 1.
But then again, if we're talking about the Thailand team, we also have AGAL. I mean, that booyah and those consistency. Game 1, 2, 4, they keep getting 11 elimination points. And I think that is the goal today. They're going to go aggressive, and they are surely locking up the points with that extra booyah they just had on Game 4.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if we actually end up seeing them in that first place whenever we end up seeing the overall. But for everybody currently watching at home, even if your team is not performing that well, it's okay. Just log into Free Fire and make sure you get some of the sweet in-game rewards because there's a bunch. I mean, you can kind of see them on the screen right now. Honestly, I want that EWC bat right there. Just support your local team, claim your rewards, and I mean, I can hear it from the back too. Everybody wants a bat. Can we actually get one? Because I want to have one in the shop.
When we do
what is the jersey? The jersey was a question mark too. A question mark is currently what the Indian teams are having above their head because it's not looking like what we saw yesterday from Survival.
Yes, I am so sad actually because I am here to represent Lucifer, who is now at the casting desk. But again, I mean, they do have some opportunities because we all saw what happened on the previous match where Buriram got taken out by TAG. They came up with a vengeance from being eliminated early on the previous game to taking out the biggest threat. And of course, we also saw how S8UL eliminated Falcon right on the previous game. So they do have what it takes. It's just that somehow the consistency
consistency when it comes to getting those points, now that is questionable. It's the rotation that I think they might have to reconsider again.
We talked about yesterday about the mentality of some of these squads. Maybe this is what the Indian teams need, Neptune, taking those big fights against the top dogs little by little. And the thing right now, with the way that the leaderboard is set, whenever we get a chance to end up seeing it, you'll see how compact everything is as well.
Oh, one thing that hopefully doesn't happen for them, despite of them taking down big dogs, is that ego. The ego wherein, yes, they're confident already to take down one, but falter the next match. And that is what happened for Team Apex Gaming, because yes, they did get one team earlier on a match of 3, but in match 4, it's Fluxo who did take them down.
Yes, I mean, Attack were amazing. They were a beast on the survival stage. I still remember correctly on game 3 where Shoto had 4 elimination on his own and 1,966 damage points with 7 assists. But looking at the overall ranking finals, this is interesting, 7.
It is interesting. Team Falcons, a team that's currently challenging as well for the club championship, does have a booyah. Just keep that in mind, because right now the top 4 teams, all of them do have a booyah. Whenever we reach that 90-point threshold, the way that you'll have to be able to win it is going to be with a booyah.
I must say that this is going rather quick, Lace. I mean, we have 17 points already from AGAL.
Yeah, and look, we're talking about booyahs, and who doesn't have one yet? Fluxo, okay? Look, the rise to the top 4 in match 3 is exactly what we expect from this team. I mean, the aggressive fights, the adaptability. There was a part where they had Falcons on height of bridge and then AGL on the south of them, but however they did that, they maintained composure and defense in that situation. Did they get the booyah? Obviously not. It's not on there. But it was an impressive game from them to be able to move from their position that they were in to get that second place in the third match. And match 4, you know, they did prioritize early eliminations, which did sort of put them into that 4th place position with only Falcons like having 1 more point than them. So this is what we expect from Fluxo, but it is the consistency that we don't tend to see from them. It's just they get the big games in, and that's how they're maintaining their points.
That is so brave of you to say, because we're standing right behind the supporters right now. But one thing that I can also say is that at least they're doing better than my Indonesian teams, okay? Because as we all see, EVOS and RKU are having quite a hard time. They only have 41 and 36 points overall now without any booyah. So I'm just hoping and praying, because like I said before, they are booked and busy on the previous matches. They somehow had the worst positioning of all time. This is just not their day.
Yeah, I do agree, especially in that moment where Ma could have survived, like trying his best, but unfortunately, like he was just caught off guard. And that has been the same situation even in the regionals in Southeast Asia. So I thought they did manage to pull out of that, because there were some instances where even in a shotgun, he can battle it out. He can duke it out against a 1v1 or 1v2, but that is a different mode, Clash Squad. In Battle Royale, I think they are just going back to their usual ways, and it's not working.
And Neptune, talking about the next map coming up, Nextera. I mean, we usually end up looking at some skills. We end up seeing some crazy stuff. What are you specifically going to be looking at for Nextera?
Oh, this is where the teams will be farming all those eliminations, because despite of this is similar to the size of say Purgatory Bermuda, we are seeing a lot of compounds in here. Most of the compounds is a hiding spot for those who's trying to survive, as well as the vending machine available. So this is where, in most cases in tournament, we get to see a lot of revives and then a lot of elimination as well.
Now the question is, who's doing the farming and who's getting farmed? Because right now, like I said, I am hoping and praying for our Indian teams, because they do have what it takes. We all seen that happening on the survival stage, but somehow right now they just have to shake off those final jitters, I think, because
it even looked good for S8UL for that one moment. But then what happened?
I don't know. That's exactly what we should be asking to the players, because they look chill as hell right now. And we need to get them refocused, because Nextera, again, this is not going to be an easy map for anyone.
Yeah, it's definitely not going to be an easy map for anyone, especially for those bottom teams. But at this point, the one thing that they do have going for them is that you're at the bottom. You got absolutely nothing to lose. You might as well just send it. And I think that's what we have seen them previously fight against those top dogs as well.
Now, one thing that we expect right here, based on the numbers, is BRU United might be going for a comeback, because so far the average that they have is 20 points for each time that they step into Nextera, and who's following them would be RQ as well as MIBR loss. So there's a huge potential that 3 regions or 3 countries will be taking that booyah in this map.
I mean, when we started today, we were talking about Blue Ram. We were talking about the points that they were able to get, right? During the groups, they were averaging about 19.7 points. So far today, even though they had a great performance in game 1, they've only been 11. So a massive drop-off for that squad, Conchita.
Yes, it is. But then again, if we take a look at the Booyah list, 3 out of the 4 Thailand team has gotten it. So maybe it's just about time. Then again, Buriram United Esports, they were doing so well at the elimination points up until that time where they got eliminated early. So there's still hope for Buriram United Esports. I am keeping an eye out for them. And Nextera, once again, this is one of Wasano's favorite map, actually. He said it somewhere.
I guess Buriram just don't want that World Series and then to back it up with the EWC 2026 trophy. I guess guys just don't want enough. So
they're giving other people a chance to catch up.
That's so humble of them.
When we were talking about the overall, we saw first place there with 70 points with AJL, and then going all the way down to Lion. I think they were somewhere in the 53-point mark. So honestly, one booyah can make the difference. We already saw what happened after 2 matches earlier on. I can't wait to see what it's going to be looking like after these 2 matches, because if it's anything like what we just saw previously, it's gonna be absolute madness. And you know what? I want to see that madness. I know you at home want to see that madness too. Let's send it to Nextera.
Well, madness is exactly what we're going to be getting as we go into this map. AJ warned us that this map could possibly be match point, because of the possibilities of some of these teams popping off. Just now, Neptune already said 3 teams, BRU, MIBR Lost, as well as RRQ have high potentials of going huge on this map. What do you think, Lucifer?
I don't like it, Dash.
Why?
I went on the stage and was like, hey, this is the time that teams are trying to take it away from Southeast Asia. But look at it, as we are back towards our match number 5, 3 teams from Southeast Asia are ready to get to match point. And that just feels like it might just go back. But doesn't matter, the cooperation looks really good. AGL, Twisted Minds and Falcons looking forward to a chance on the game trophy. This is next year, the last game where you know the clear path to, because every game after this is randomized and you don't know where you're heading in the flight.
Yeah, you're basically going in blind in this situation. Again, there is high possibility of hitting that match point, but the question is which team will be able to clinch in that final booyah to go home with the trophy and the championship title.
Flight path right now cutting the map in half. Nothing much to be worried about for any team. If you want to go up north, you have a chance at Intellect Center. And if you want to go to Deca Square, which is so far in our previous days of the journey, the 3 days was very sought after, and even our last few circles ended up near the Deca Square itself. And right as now, it's only going to be S8UL. However, towards Rush Town, we see Falcons and a mix of Loud and Loud. They are the next best in case of Southeast Asia do not find their match point. It is going to be Loud.
Yeah, Loud looks really good. I think in the first match was a bit more quiet from them, but they started to warm up. And I think it's really scary because they are a type of team that is just really patient with how they play. And we saw some gunshots coming through from them as well. So we are going to be seeing this fight happening. But at the same time, I suspect that for the players of Fluxo, they're keeping a close eye on this team. Limit already chunked out so low, even knocked down. But the revivals are quick. But Loud is just happy with his early 2 points.
2 points. The Inoculus used to get to know where more players from Falcons are, so they know Pina is also close by. Not exact coordinates, but Pina, he'll also be snuffed out very soon. He's running out in the open. He doesn't have an idea that there's a player already ahead of his position. And very soon, Falcons, even though they've got the revive, will also lose another player. On the other end, Buriram finally getting back into action, and they're taking down EVOS. They were supposed to be the ones closest to the match point, but they've been pushed so far down at the 7th spot that they need to rise up the ranks, get back to around 70 points. At least in this game, I don't see a possibility for Buriram to get to match point as comparison to the others.
Pina, great attempt, and also successfully being able to pick up Trap in his position. Aggressive as hell, could be able to go for this 1v1 against Nyx. Aware, drops down those glue walls, but able to bring Trap back into the game. Valiant dash to bring down the glue walls, moving all around the area. The lack of info keeps Pina at bay, but On Fire is here to provide some form of support. But Fluxo in the wings wants to join the fight, but before that could happen, Pina gets another elimination in the bag.
It was stolen. Fluxo, they're the ones who made a close by attempt here. And now surrounded is Pina. He was able to hold his front, but 2v1, that's not going to work out. Electrotherapy as well, working in favor for Fluxo. But Fluxo, they still have a challenge. Loud were the ones who pushed Falcons out. So Loud are still in the close compounds there. For Falcons, they might be safe and sound in the other direction, but Fluxo want to surround them. It seems like Falcons are the ones who reattempt, and Loud are the ones who get away with it. UAV being used, information will be relayed, and Fluxo, they will again reattempt and take down Falcons. On Fire's footsteps will be heard, but Sid will give a call, Bob on the top, to see if anybody exits in the nearby compound, and then they both again in a 2v1 might look forward to a second elimination on Falcons.
Now On Fire is very capable of winning 2v1s, but over on this side of the map here, Rand's in trouble as AGAL completely overwhelmed and swarmed. Great work coming for this team. Positions all noted. No one is truly safe in this area. And now, wants to jump off from this site is looking scary. Attempts coming through here from S8UL. Jack on the other side of the blue wall somehow will go down as AGL so ridiculous with how exactly they take these fights.
S8UL needed to win this if they wanted to deny AGAL the match point. And with that not happening and AGAL getting the eliminations, they will now slowly get closer towards match point, and they need only 20. And if they activate match point here, meaning match number 6 is where they just need a booyah and they will close this entire Esports World Cup 2026 for Free Fire.
That was Loud just now as well, looking really good on how they played this area. And I have to say, those early fights were really good. Loud knowing when exactly to let go and leave as soon as a third party came is the reason why they're able to have these really deep runs and survive till the end.
AGL, they would want to be the ones who survive to the very end, grab as many points as they want. 4 eliminations right now, and right in front is going to be Loud. The team, not from their region, but the challengers as best. They've been showing consistency from the very first game. Got the booyah in the beginning itself, but it's not been a case where they continuously get a lot in terms of eliminations, whereas AGL, they've been better in consistency and just secured a booyah in the previous game. And AGL, all gamers global. What a global title for themselves. They won it in Clash Squad. And now they want a Battle Royale, and Nyx is down. Cypher. Oh no, a counter now coming through. That's in from Loud. The challenge for a 1v1 is only for a knock. No confirmations, but you has been found out, so that's going to be trapped. More falling. Cypher as well. Loud are not taking this easily. They instantly want to challenge. Nice hit coming with the throwable. Cypher is still brought back to life. Chrono being used. Cypher might have patched himself, but BZP with the melter. He's surrounded, gets one. But Cypher will be happy that Nameless brought him back to life, and BZP out. AGL still functioning. However, Nyx is the only one floating above because Stab just got taken down. So troubles and problems for Loud.
AGL looking very aggressive here, but we also are seeing Twisted Minds join in on the fight. 2 members from the team knocked down already, quickly taken away, and Cypher is limping right now. Forced to hide in a corner, forced to just really keep quiet and keep his head down. If he wants to be able, just go for that reset. Regardless, the rest of Twisted Minds not really interested in going in for this hunt, rather prioritizing survivability and positions later. But as for this side of the map here, Fluxo hit toe-to-toe up against the Falcons.
Fluxo, W7M. Their fans have been non-stop on the drums, chanting their names. And now they need to get to that position. Taking down Falcons will give them massive points and deny Falcons from getting towards match point. Melta was already used. So the aggression still continues. While we take a look at the circle, which is about to make its own shift, to bring its own gameplay and a push where teams will not be ready for. And what a quick shift it's been. A drastic one, moved to the complete eastern edge, leaving only almost Twisted Minds at the center of it. And it seems like the whole ploy is being towards Twisted Minds, maybe being the champions as well.
S8UL wants to go in for this fight, wants to be able to play comeback here. But Fuxo is definitely not a foe to be underestimated here. Troll, great on the opening. They were aware of his rotation from the other side. A nice piece that cut across. They've been able to do it. MT7 position noted, but movement is good. Being able to take some chip damage, but not enough to drop him down. Bunzin goes up close and personal, dropping down a member of S8UL as Bobs. The damage is good toward Bunny, but no knocks yet coming to their side. And in this situation, they're barely alive, with Troll looking to find the final member. Bobs knocked down already. MT7 running for his life. The shots are there, and S8UL overcome the Giants.
Troll, this man was on the stage with us. 4 eliminations, and S8UL Esports take down another runner on this title, making sure their attempt is back again. Next era, this matchup is going to be crucial for every team that's making a comeback. So is Buriram. RRQ also needs the points, but them all playing outside the zone means this could be an opportunity for the others who are inside the circle. And taking another opportunity is S8UL. Now it's Ryan on a challenge. Loots down Jack as well, taken down over there. Della, he's the one who made the hit. Gains King's North, and for the time being, quickly Della to recover and patch himself, puts glue walls in the container. And Noor wanting to help his teammates, but he's going to be surrounded and he'll also be knocked.
Completely overwhelmed. Lion doing great with the timing, and they've been very, very opportunistic throughout the entirety of today. And now, in this situation, a little bit more further out of the zone, but they do have the opportunity to get into the area, since the area on the northern side is fairly empty. The only team standing between them is just TAG.
Team Apex Gaming. We just saw what S8UL were able to do, but both S8UL and Team Apex Gaming are sharing the position on the overall ranking. Not great. However, Jack trying to make it better. Spots limit, but damage being done by Jack as well. While on the other end, front runners is what we were talking about. AGL are on the top of it. Cypher gates by Rigby. M590 to do the damage. Confirmation also to follow through. Nameless trying to hammer. It might be a loss, and then successful blows being landed. Nameless now covering the outer front. Ravan, after he's losing his teammates, wants to make a run, go for a revive. But even Rigby, he will not deny on this challenge. He will try to stand for it. It will not work out, as AGL will have MIBL loss surrounded and swept out.
Yeesh! Talk about a team that just really walking around the area, just sweeping it. Looking really good right now as we look at the entirety of the circle. Majority of it, at least the best positions in my opinion, have been completely taken over here. EVOS on the western side, Twisted Minds and Loud sharing that southern side as well. Now I'm just waiting for these two to really duke it out, because we all know how bloody it can be.
Binoculars were used, so information's being relayed on either end. Twisted Minds, we spoke about it. AGL might be at the top, a team from Thailand, but Twisted Minds, they were a team that nobody had to bat an eye on. Nobody thought that they're going to be, because AGL's there, Buriram's there, Falcons is there from the region, but Twisted Minds, they're twisting players, hands and legs to make it happen. S8UL also trying that similar approach. They did battle against Falcons, but now Pina running, ring around the poses to try and see if there's a chance. He runs away from Bunny, but will be spotted. Pina still going for a 1v1, and no workout. It's going to be a max 7 end for him. And S8UL Esports secured their 13th elimination.
This is a different look coming from S8UL. Yes, there are moments of brilliance, but this is the capability of what they're able to do. Riding high on that momentum, being able to take out the Giants. And now they continue on here. Northern side, they have the compound and space. And if you were to look at the zone right now, the southern side is about to get hectic. A majority of teams rotating through. Looking at the areas as well, for AGAL, I would say this is one of their best ones. 10 eliminations, not too far there. As the Falcons and S8UL each are getting completely destroyed in their own compounds and areas.
AGL, two different teams in front of them, Twisted Minds as well as Loud. But Buriram, they have only one, that's going to be RRQ. Get High is out. Problem striking. Dutch confirms Rance as well. And Vasana trying to bring Buriram back. He will be put to his knees. Dutch will be recovered because Rance is closer. Buriram having a teammate Jonah who gets closer. Moshi from afar tried his shot, but none of them worked or connected to RRQ. But this breather was enough. Buriram is back in action, and Buriram also getting help from EVOS. And now EVOS helping them out. RRQ are in trouble. Dubs, can he recover this? Only good for an exchange, and instantly he will be shut down. And that's the end for RRQ.
RRQ looked like they had a really great start there. United, this is a situation they really needed. Quiet in the last two games, needing to play catch up despite the great start. As for S8UL, Bunny getting knocked down by Lion, making sure that they dot their I's and cross their T's, and even going for more. EVOS is now pressured since Lion does have a high ground advantage.
All game is global, now making a rush towards Loud. Already a casualty over there. Can they confirm the elimination? No, Loud managed to recover, but the push is still there. And helping out was Twisted Minds, and in an instant, Loud wanted to get out, and all they get out is out of the game into the lobby. Loud Snickers, they were almost consistent, but with only 4 points in this game, nothing much, but more points coming in for Buriram United Esports. As Twisted Minds did help out over there to AGL, now they have their own concerns.
Yeah, they're on top side here. They are safe for the time being. When they found Limit, they knock him down. As for EVOS, wants to wrestle away this space away from Lion. But they're just getting knocked out. Their space just running out. Della waiting in the wings. His team is shepherding the players of EVOS toward him. A beautiful nade takes out Abax. Russia gets knocked down as well. And a quad for Lion. Joker going huge in this particular round. EVOS eliminated.
Joker! Already Lion has 26 eliminations in total, and now they've spotted Twisted Minds. A knock was dealt, and that's the warning coming in from Lions, because they're going to be the beasts of next era. Falcons Keroro trying to close the distance between Buriram as well as Twisted Minds, but he only read that there was players on the roof, not inside the compound. And Keroro, if he jumps in, it's going to be trouble, but trouble already for AGL right behind the bus. Riptide Rhythm, Flash Freeze all being used, and Lion are peppering them with bullets, and Twisted Minds are dropping nades after nades to trouble AGL.
Yeah, AGL, terrible position to be in. Not a lot of space either, and they're completely crunched from multiple angles, above or below. They are going to get chunked down here. And Lion, a lot of space to work with, but this circle shift is about to get interesting. Yes, BRU United and Twisted Minds have a little bit more space. Walkoff's getting knocked down here, should be able to get picked up. And AGL looking to rally back.
Lion quickly recovered. Thankfully, they did not lose their sniper. AGL, however, Nameless gets it. But there is a chance, glue wall and recovery. This is just the back and forth. Now Exposy finds on Joker. Well, it'll be a quick recovery, but Exposy, can he find another? Nice monster truck being brought down. Blocking vision for the time being. Joker trying to find an angle. It's not possible for the time being. But Lion, if they pull this off, 27 eliminations already. We were talking about records. They might be getting closer. Aurora was the last time who managed to get closer to it, but they did not close it out. And all Lion are doing is a knock after knock after knock. We have to see when do teams manage to not able to rise up. No revives, and finally it seems like AGL have had enough. They make a rush.
They are forced to retake this fight as well. AGL, a bad situation turned into a good one. Desperation turned into a win. They have the space right now, looking to overwhelm the players of Buriram United. And this is huge. Really stop Buriram United in their tracks. Continue their silent run throughout the last few maps. Buriram United, they're back out in the open. Lion take full advantage of this. Wasana knocked down. Get High barely alive, but they're holding on for Twist for life. As the AGL members also are in trouble.
Trouble is not stopping. Cypher managed to jump, but he'll still be picked off. That's going to be the Twisted Minds, and AGL are out. Comes down to the last two teams. Lion and Twisted Minds. Twisted Minds are getting closer towards the match point, but Lion have a race to reach. Opening yet to be found. Games King was knocked, but that's not going to be enough
Twisted Minds now rotating, trying to climb up the hill, but Joker at the angle. He puts jump down, needs a confirmation, and that's when the numbers will change.
And this is really interesting because both these teams, we haven't seen a very healthy fight in a while here. Joker decides to move away here. Both players, both teams looking to press this positioning. They know exactly what the Twisted Minds players are. And Lion wants to try and take away that space, but it's a high climb, playing this angle where Twisted Minds have all the advantage. Diamond with the high ground, and even those snipers, it's going to be really hard to really challenge this space.
Riptide Rhythm being used, but he'll not be trouble. On the other end, Diamond will be, because Joker came up close, putting the player on the roof down, and now look at this, Lion closing in, because they know the zone's closing out. Twisted Minds, Della as well close by. They need the confirmation. Twisted Minds have lost the player. Games King finds the bounce. More following through. Jump is down. One last player. And Lion, they roll. They get the booyah. And they take and break everything on Next Terra.
Next Terra was set to be a map for other teams, but they decide to go aggressive. They decide to take this fight with gusto, and they are fearless. From a bad situation to a good one, disadvantages upon disadvantages, and turned into advantages somehow. This team rally, and this team decides to overwhelm. Don't count them out. And suddenly, everything up in the air. Match point is we're still wondering when exactly that's going to happen.
They crushed Keys yesterday, and today opportunities of match point being crushed. 45 total points. Lion break all the records that anybody thought could have been left as it is by Falcons, which was done. Aurora got closer, but they couldn't. And Lion, they do it. The beasts of Next Terra making a comeback in the grand finals. Looking forward to match point. What a play, what a position. Look at this, Joker, unbelievable stuff. He did find his opening, but this was the crucial one. Putting Diamond out. How did they make it happen? That is crucial with Della going up close. Let's hear them out.
Crazy work coming from the zone. You could tell how much they wanted it. They were super hyped. Like as you mentioned, match point denial coming from this team. And if you were to see their record throughout this entirety of the week, they didn't really get activated up until later. We've seen moments of it, and now records are broken. And most importantly, what the heck was that ending?
What was that indeed? I agree with you. But AGAL, they got 22 points, and now I'm afraid. It was 70 points before we started this game, and now that match 5's ended, I think they've made it to match point. The only team that have made it to match point. We'll take a look at it, but let's talk about the key players. We were talking, the highlight was entirely on Games King when we always spoke about Lion. Yes, in his region, when we were seeing their games, it was, yes, him, the MVP, finding eliminations, but when it was necessary, the whole team stepped up, except for his name, everybody else was there. That tells you when Games King could play his own game, and on top of it, Joker as the sniper. Oh my God. He made sure Twisted Minds, if they thought they had a chance, it will be swept, vanquished, and cleared from their minds.
You know what's really interesting as well? We talked about it because Twisted Minds had the prime positioning. They had the compound, they had the high ground. Even Diamond on the top side there had all the information he needed. But that one shot coming in from Lion to take down Diamond, and suddenly it just felt like a huge collapse. Suddenly all the defenses fell apart. And that's what I like seeing for Lion. You are being very opportunistic to turn the tides. Regardless, we're going to take a breather, and when we come back, let's see what exactly will be going on here in the grand finals.
We were there for every click, every clutch, every respawn. We were there for the years of grind, and we're here now, the proud founding partner of EWC, powering the biggest event in gaming, shoulder to shoulder with the world's best, making history. Greatness deserves a stage. Lenovo Legion, reach your impossible.
A lot of people are haunted by their past. I'm inspired by it.
They're not just playing for themselves, they're really playing for their entire family.
They have defeated their demons. They have crushed the gods.
Everyone, the match point has started. We have two teams activated the champion rush. Lion and AGAL with very impressive points, 89 and 82.
That is amazing indeed. I mean, just take a look at that last game. Lion, they totally won our heart over. They had it really hard against Twisted. Twisted had the better position, but they were quick. That they were super fast. A booyah, first booyah for Lion today, and they got 33 elimination points in just one game. They were struggling at the beginning, but 32 elimination points is huge, Yunso.
The youth energy is getting fired up right here, and I want to talk about Joker. He is such a nice sniper. Wait, getting himself 11 eliminations point is amazing. Very incredible, right? Super love that guy, actually.
And of course, if we're talking about the match point, they are now 6 points ahead of AGAL, and that is something that we should look forward into going on the next game.
92 as well, and I think both of them can activate it. Both of them had activated the champion rush already and just need one more booyah to become the champion of EWC 26 Free Fire right here. But behind right that, we still have Twisted Minds, 87 points, and Loud, 71.
Yeah,
Pretty
and that
close.
is amazing. And you just saw what happened in the green room. You just saw our reaction because that game, that match was just intense. But now we are surely having high hopes for Lion and hoping the other could catch up to them, because this is what they show exactly at the survival stage. I mean, technically, Lion was also one of the very first team who got the booyah during the group stage, right? So we all know that they do have what it takes to be the champion.
You know, this is the first time a LATAM region can rise above and become the champions. What do you think?
I think this is going to be huge, and I'm pretty sure that we are in for some more surprises. But now I think it's time for us to go back to the casters. I'm sure they have a lot to say about the upcoming matches. So Yunsul, are you sure that your team can still make it? What's your team again? Oh, no, they did not make it. I'm so sorry.
Why are you being like
I still have 2 teams. I still have RRQ and EVOS, and I do hope they are going to put everything they have on the land right now and activate those match points.
Oh man, this is getting real hot right now. 2 teams already on match point, and 2 teams are about to bring home trophies for the first time to their own regions.
Cutthroat is the competition. Like our talents down there as well, Pepsi and Yunsu, they were at each other. But this tells us how this competition is turning out. Records broken in a grand final stage. And that is not from your Southeast Asian teams, not from the Brazil team, from a team who've made it and got their match point activated because of their booyah with 45 total points. That is Lion. And now they're moving into the next game. A total of 98 is what Lion have secured with 65 eliminations. AGAL, for a second I was worried AGAL did not get it, because looking at how they were taking the points, obviously I think AGAL, this was a close call, and they'll be happy that they got to match point. Even if Lion managed to secure the booyah in the next game, AGL will manage to try and defend it. So chances for AGL also there for becoming a champion.
That's right, and this is where things get really hard. Getting the match point is not the hard part. Getting that booyah, however, is. It's as though you're putting a big, I would say, target on your back. And it's as though you have to have that mental to make it all the way to the end. Playing slow, is that an option? Maybe. But will other teams allow you to do that?
Not sure, as the flight path, as we see a little southern favor just above Santa Catarina and ending at Mammoth. Still teams manage to traverse, but one team traversing into a battle directly is going to be EVOS and MIB are lost. Buriram and Tag once again happening. It seems like whenever it's Kalahari, it's time to start off with battles from the very beginning. And Team Apex Gaming right now at Buriram. Last time they did eliminate Buriram, but this time it seems like Sahil Jat and Vatsana as well. 1-1 elimination each, and Wolvin also goes out.
Getting eliminated so early, EVOS What on earth happened over on that side? Meanwhile, over here, TAG tag still surviving, still as a 2. Buriram United doing a great job of just maintaining this space, making sure that they're able to just bring their team back into the game. Yeah, they lost Osana, but how quick they were to go for that, I would say, that reset. A replay to just see what's going on right now. Look how quick Buriram United just completely overwhelmed, left no space at moments for TAG to completely pick up the pace.
And while that replay happened, MIB a loss. They were the ones who put EVOS out here at Shrines. TAG and Buriram was again drop clash previously. TAG had to go to Santa Catarina. They decided, hey, let's take a hit at Buriram. This time it did not work out. But Buriram, when we talk about that, it seems like they have a challenge very soon. Lion, who just broke the EWC record, are now going towards Stone Ridge. AGL on the other end, they better be wary about it. If they don't read into this, if they're not ready into fights, and if they end up losing players, yes, not a team elimination, I hope. Players still is okay, but they have to be worried as Buriram get hit by Lion, and the battle strikes off. Get High is down. Games King confirms it. Trying to close the distance, Jonah. Can he hold it off? Yes, he does, but Games King is there as a backup. What do you do against these beasts of Free Fire?
Buriram United, in this situation, possibly not only a bit more than they can chew, they were also completely tunnel visioned, unaware of the positioning, the layering of how the Lion players have placed themselves. Now we move over to the Falcons, just side by side to the players of TAG. And this is interesting because usually for the Falcons, it's all about going aggressive here. They go do that against Trap, quick to find him, but the rest of Loud very, very comfortable on the other end, able to move away.
I think it was just Loud trying to scope out for information, and Trap just got spotted out without knowing that players were behind him. But one more team right behind Falcons is this time Team Apex Gaming, who just made a recovery. But look at Pino's shove. Oh my god! Shoto instantly put down and getting on to follow up. Falcons, they're the ones who are flying and clipping the wings over the side. That position compromise. Hypnotism also used, and he will also be brought down to his knees. Volvin, he did manage to recover the team, but he will not be able to recover even a single elimination against Falcons.
Falcons look really good right now, much more like themselves. They're just moving around the area and the map and just really taking fights against every single team they cross. But definitely, I have to say, Lucifer, this map is definitely a lot more slower than the first few maps today. Everyone's so cautious. No one wants to give any opportunity.
Bound to happen. Two teams have match point. If you mess up, one of those two teams will become champions. Crush your keys, put it in their trophy, and for the entire year will be reigning kings of Free Fire. And you do not want that. That is the reason the teams who are the closest, Twisted Minds as well as Loud, they want a recovery. The Tag, they are not finding any recovery at all today.
It's like a marathon.
Yes,
it's recoveries
just been revive and revive. Nothing on the elimination front.
Looks so, the crowd's so loud for them, giving them that energy, and Diamond will be the first one to get knocked down here quickly. 1 point in the bag here, and T7 does find one of their own, but they are going to be rallied back. Because we do have Twisted Minds here that do still want to play. Jump, knocked out already, 2 eliminations for Fluxo. A first step, too many, for it to climb up the ladder. Bit more quiet for the rest of the day since they did manage to get one big game earlier.
Twisted Minds, thankfully they got away. They are 3 points away from match point. If they don't get there in this game, they have to only hope that AGL and Lion, they don't win out. And thankfully, Falcons are trying to deny, but Games King says no once again.
He's going insane right now.
Guerrero, his confirmation comes through. And now Lion are quick to check and pounce upon if there are more Falcon players here.
Now for AGAL, also up here, ready for that trophy. But Lost looking to just really shut them down, not able to do so with General. Going get knocked down here, Rigby tries to at least trade, can't do so. Blocked out by those glue walls. and quick to reposition. The first elimination in the bag. But for Made in Brazil loss, you see Yago pressuring Barros, forced to move away. He barely survived that encounter. Now AJL not able to overcome. So what they're going to do here is they're going to try at least hold on their positions, try to isolate Yago, be aware of where everyone is, but they cannot get any more eliminations.
AJL do not even want that. They just want a booyah. Even Lion. But Lion are still bouncing upon opponents, taking them down. They have 6 eliminations already. Just did lose out the player. And that's due to the launch pad they took, but that's still okay. However, they have a hit list on them for the next 1 minute. The position to the team who activated the hit list will be pinged, and they have to be wary about it. And that's going to be the Falcons. Initially, Lions did take them down, but Falcons, I think, want to fly and swoop down, put their beaks into the Falcons, and take that beast away.
It's going to be really fun how it's going to go. Lion, you know, I would have surprised. I thought they would have changed up the way they play coming into this particular game. But for them, they're saying, no, let's just play our game. Let's continue our momentum and how we move. In this situation here, we just talked about Lion. Squawka's already getting knocked out. Now for Twisted Minds, an idea on exactly how it's going to go. Look at this map here, this area to the sub. No one really around, so Fluxo, they can become the gatekeepers. They want to know. Twisted Minds knows exactly where MT7 is. Takes a lot of damage already. Will tie by a bit more time. The long range weapons that MT7 has is lethal in his hands. Exposy is getting shot back in return. And both these teams temporarily on a stalemate. Exposy, the glue wall falls, takes quite a bit of damage, forced to reposition, but able to put another one down. Electrotherapy will give a bit of space. Not for long. Teammate knocked down. The bat is here as well. MT7 is going to be completely overwhelmed here. Tries his best to at least steal away a pickoff. Not going to be able to do so. But still, Geo decides to join in on this fight.
There's more from Fluxo. There are chances that Fluxo can take a hit, but it seems like there's been a call made to retreat, to not continue this fight, because if they keep giving eliminations to Twisted Minds, that is them going to be activating match point. And Twisted Minds, their chase doesn't work in their favor. They almost were about to lose 2 players. They didn't lose one. Instantly knowing that Fluxo is close by, they decide not to continue that fight with this disadvantage.
Gotta take this slow, gotta be very, very safe, but the very least here, for you and the rest of Fluxo, they can be the ones to keep Twisted Minds out of the zone. But if you take too long, the Lions are going to go on a hunt. And Lion is now here. Their strategy of going completely aggressive, taking fights left, right, and center has been going very, very well for them.
Twisted Minds, only 1 elimination, meaning they will jump to 88. They need more players to be at least eliminated. 10 in lobby. If a team gets eliminated, they bring it down to around 8, they'll start getting placement points and they might make those 3 points. But this is how pressure works, especially in the finals. You know, with match point under threat, if you don't activate it, somebody else activates it, and then the booyah to follow is the game being closed for Free Fire. And that is why Twisted Minds are also along the same line of how we are seeing AJL trying to play safe and secure some of those eliminations, those points.
The position coming in from Lion, instead of just going in for this fight, decides to prioritize positioning, and it's good. They got a compound, and most importantly, a bit more advantage to the players of Twisted Minds and even Fluxo. To see Buram United still out there in the open. We thought the last map would be a change in pace for this particular team, since it's very, very quiet, but we haven't seen more from them on this map either.
The Twisted Minds, they're also unable to see a lot. It seems like they're just back and forth in the play zone. They're playing outside the edges itself. Anytime they try to get closer, Fluxo once shut them down, and the other time they had a clash, somehow surviving. Good use of the electrotherapy is all I can say at this point, because they're trying to survive that play zone and nothing else, because they want to make it to the end. They're trying to bank on those placement points we were talking about. RRQ on the other end at the 9th spot, 46 points. We just broke a record. 45 total points. Why not them trying their hand at it? Because we know RRQ have that potential.
They do.
It's just that they miss out when it's time to close. So RRQ can always stage their very own comeback.
In this situation as well, AGAL, like you mentioned, fairly quiet, but this era to a refinery could be good for them. Going in from these long-range picks, being able to catch people, any team in the midst of rotation.
I'm surprised to see refinery so empty. AGAL,
right?
They're having a ball of a time there. And if that continues, they can see command posts right down. And that is where the circle is.
But the fights are still going on here with, they made it still lost, getting that first pick off here. But General will be the one that's faded out there. But you can't count Yago out, putting in that damage. But the Falcons, we're so ready for Rigby's jump shot. Triple elimination for him. Aggressive as heck, and another step forward to their own match point. With MIBR loss, able to bring one player in the game. You need more if you want to bring the whole team. Not enough coins to be able to do so.
Problems for every team who want to get closer to match point. Loud have only 4 eliminations. Falcons want to make their way, but they need around 27 in total. They have earned 10 of those eliminations. AGL finally making a rotation out of the refinery. We spoke about it. Circle is not there. With the position that they hold, they have a clear front to move around. And that's how they decide to rotate as well. Rather than going directly into the circle, they're moving around it so that they have information. And especially the vertical terrain advantage is what they still want to keep.
AGL just now, they were trying to get advantage earlier, but now the advantage comes close since they do have this huge terrain. Those Lion Games King will be knocked down, but Della is here to completely obliterate. Shots from above, catching the mid-rotation. Nameless, you gotta do something, you gotta survive. But Della shuts him down. A quadra kill from this player to further their way into the game, and a heartbreak for AGAL.
That was an M249 used like a Gatling gun and gutting AGL out. And Lion, Della destroying the team who had match point, and now it's only Lion in Kalahari. They spotted the next opponent. That's going to be Fluxo. But they don't have to run into it because Fluxo are already in another fight. That's going to be Buriram. These teams are fighting amongst themselves while Lion are cleaning shop and paving path.
It's going to be dangerous right now. Fluxo, crowd loud for them. A lot of energy, a lot of cheers. And Buriram United looking to silence them. A quick reposition coming in from Badzin. Good enough to keep the rest of Buriram United at bay. But the shots coming through from Lion pressures the rest of S8UL, and they're picking up the HP of the players, and they're not able to do a lot as the members of S8UL drop one by one.
M249 not stopping from Della. Has 4 eliminations, finally troll. Puts a stall and then a knock on Della is crucial to put Lion down. S8UL are charging towards them. This is going to be an opening, but Joker tries to slow them down, confirms on Jack as well, bringing it down to a 3v3. Bunny with the AC-80 has done the damage. Boltmaker also surrounding Lion. Very cautious on the approach. Nate being cooked, tossed, but will not hit the mark. S8UL are right behind the containers, but not in position for Lion to instantly fight.
Yeah, and now Lion running out of space. The same could be said about S8UL. Maybe a temporary respite between teams. Regardless, gonna try and chunk forward here as well, but kept at bay. Damage is too much, and throughout all of that, so Falcons and RQ gonna juke it out. Falcons taking a lot of heavy damage, and RQ completely collapsed. The Falcons cannot move.
RQ, they managed to put Falcons down, but the fight is not yet done. There might be a loss who managed to recover General and Yago, but RQ, as the zone's closing, they want to be ahead of it. They want to make a move, and they are. They also need the points. They're at the 8th spot. We spoke about it, 40-pointer, but now it's tough. Players getting knocked. Mahal will be brought back to life, and General instantly put to rest by Abhay. And RRQ get their 5th. But Lion, they are the ones that the whole lobby should be worried about. 7 teams still surviving. S8UL at the front of it. And Della makes it inside the circle. Joker using the stealth bikes, and look at Yako. He's in the other front. Reply to them, use. This could be an opening to stall S8UL as well.
could be really good. RQ is now out. Bad for the Lions. They are catching. S8UL mid-rotation. S8UL eliminated, and they quickly go towards the next mark. They have looked so close by. They also have Cloud as well. But they're taking this bit by bit. Twisted Minds shut up inside of the compound. But Joker is just on a rampage.
Records were just broken and now records are being made. History being created. Lion have the best advantage. Loud in front of them. Grab helping them out. Big one. M79. Two of the players from Twisted Mind are down. Nicks up close and personal and Loud have put Twisted Minds down. Lion a 3v4.
This is insane because Guacos is just finding the angle to a Boca. Not able to land those shots. Taking his time, but the Knights have a nice crossfire and Loud completely surrounded. Cannot really move these two teams. Loud especially wants to stop Lion from being able to end this tournament. Trap stuck in the corner. Lion playing at a disadvantage with one player less. Joker taking his time.
Trap is the one who made it possible. Now Trap has to be the one to put Lion down as well. But Lion, Joker, the man who became the MVP, he has to hold this off. Nice chrono, player being revived. Nix making a jump. Can he do the damage? Two of the players from Loud have gotten closer, doing the damage. Run being done from Della. He right now is not pulling the M249 up because he knows the number disadvantage. And Nix, he finds the opening. Loud are stopping this from happening. And Nix and BCP, they stop Lion, stop them, and bring it back to Brazil.
They are not allowing this tournament to end. You are not going home with that trophy. Must be frustrating, must be a heartbreak. You're so close, you're already there. The booyah right at the tips of your fingers.
That could have been hit. That's the number disadvantage, and Nix, he finds the opening. Louder stopping this from happening, and Fusion, Clap, he started it all with the M79 using the left within the compound. And then Nix and BZP together for the final together trophy is still standing there and no keys are yet crushed.
I have to say, losing that one player advantage was just too much to deal with.
Look at Loud. That's a Loud reaction. The way they managed to hold this off. Trap. Yes. You have done magic. You have done the almighty as of now. That's what you pulled off over there. Otherwise, Lion. Otherwise, Lion. They were about to be the beasts of EWC 26 Paris Free Fire. Unbelievable. A back-to-back booyah to just close it off. Close the stage. But Loud say that no, not yet. We are here. Southeast Asia has taken it away from us many times, but this time, no. Brazil wants it, keeping the lifeline open. And Loud will strike this hammer for the game number 7, our match 7, which is going to happen next. But what a game this was.
He's so proficient in getting those eliminations as well. Didn't change their momentum or style of play. Didn't even slow down. AJL a bit more quiet this time, prioritizing survivability. However, that target on their backs meant that they were getting hunted left, right, and center. And I would say that if this team decides to play like Lion, play their own game, they would have had a way deeper run. Regardless, now that the map is still going on, let's have a look at what Lion has to say about that map earlier.
Hello everyone, Carol Bombshell here back on stage. Oh my gosh, things here are getting really serious. The heat is up right now. I'm even shaking. And this interview must be really important right now because we're gonna talk with Lions, especially with the Joker. That was the player that got the most kills, the most eliminations for Lions, where they activated the match point. Okay, so you guys got the biggest booyah of AWC history, and you just broke AWC point record, kill, and record everything. How did you feel after that? that incredible game?
Acaban de conseguir uno de los boyas más importantes en este torneo. Han roto todos los récords. ¿Cómo te sentiste en ese momento? ¿Cómo te sientes ahora?
Nada, la verdad que bastante emocionado. Al fin y al cabo yo creo que no hay mucha sensación porque seguimos todavía compitiendo, todavía no ha acabado nada. Yo creo que hasta el momento no estamos dimensionando lo que estamos haciendo, simplemente estamos queriendo salir campeones y estamos jugando para eso.
We're really excited, but we are not really feeling right now because we're still competing. So there's nothing to feel yet. We are just focused on getting the win and being champions.
Probably that's a good mindset for right now. You're now making history for Latam at this event at EWC, the World Champions. And you are past the point and become champions. How does it feel to be so close to making history here?
Estás haciendo historia para Latinoamérica, estás en el punto en el cual ya pueden ser campeones. ¿Cómo se siente estar en estos momentos a un paso de ser campeón?
Nada, la verdad que no hay como un sentimiento claro, sinceramente. Lo único que estamos pensando es en cerrar la partida, lograr el bulla y terminar el campeonato y lograr ser campeones. Básicamente estamos jugando para eso.
We don't really have a clear feeling. We're only thinking about getting that big last booyah, being the champions, and that's all we're thinking about right now.
Okay, yeah, I'm pretty much sure that's the goal right now. I don't want to take much time with you because you got to concentrate for the next match. But I got to ask about this last game. You were so close to get the booyah that it's going to turn you guys champions. What happened? Can you share some thoughts about this last game, this end game against Loud?
Hablando sobre la última partida, estuvieron muy cerca de convertirse en campeones. ¿Te puedes contar qué estaba pasando por sus cabezas en ese momento? ¿Cómo se sintió?
La verdad que en el momento simplemente era un 3 versus 4. Pensamos que había otro equipo que eran de diferente, entonces hubo como ahí como que chocamos en la comunicación. Pero nada, de hecho en el momento no simplemente era como de tratar de ganar, entonces tan específico, simplemente estamos jugando para ganar y ya está.
We were 3 against 4, and we thought it was a different team, so we had a little bit of miscommunications in our comms, and we just play it right, and what happened happened.
Perfect. All right, so for us to finish our interview, I just would like to make one last question. What do you have to say for those who doubt about the Latam teams, who said that the Latam teams was way below here in Free Fire?
¿Qué le quiere decir a las personas que decían que los equipos de Latam estaban muy por debajo en el nivel acá en Free Fire?
Nada, yo creo que en general por los resultados es muy fácil hablar, ya que al fin y al cabo no están compitiendo en ese sentido. O sea, desde afuera creo que es muy fácil opinar y decir todo tipo de cosas, pero nada, estando dentro, yo creo que pasaban muchas cosas capaz como en los equipos, capaz internamente, no sé, la verdad no sabía qué opinar ante eso, pero lo que sí sé es que en la TAM nunca hubo diferencia de nivel o estuvo bajo de nivel. De hecho, yo creo que en Latinoamérica todos sabemos que el nivel alto que teníamos y que podríamos llegar a ser campeones, pero simplemente las cosas no se daban. Y ahora tampoco se podría decir que se podría llegar a dar, porque hasta el momento yo creo que es mejor terminar el campeonato y después salir a hablar.
I think it's really easy to talk when nothing has happened yet, only based on some results. We in Latin America, we've always thought that we've always had this level to be champions, to become the best in the world. We've never thought about any level discrepancy between the regions. It is really easy to talk from the outside, but once you're inside, that's where it counts. So we are just focused on winning.
Amazing. I love your answer. Guys, you have heard enough from Joker. This is Latin America here at the EWC, making history, and we're going to continue right now. So back to the studio. And I'm back, and guess where am I right now? Of course, I am in the crowd, and I'm back in the super fan zone of RRQ Kazoo. Yeah! Indonesia, make some noise! Let's go! Wow, I can see you guys are very proud to be here. We know Indonesia already got a title, but not for RRQ yet. So what that would mean RRQ win today?
It's gonna be our proudest thing maybe in this year because we're rooting for RQ to win again in the FPS game. Yeah,
amazing. So we all know that you guys have the Free Fire World Series in Southeast Asia, and you competed among most of the teams here. So which is the toughest team for RRQ to face today?
The toughest team is still EVOS, of course. Yeah, EVOS and Buriram.
Okay, I like the way. Okay, so all of you came all the way from Indonesia. Have you prepared any special song?